We're Betsy and Amy at Greenbrier Middle School, and we're getting ready to start our unit planning. What we like to do is we like to sit down and kind of sketch out the unit, and then weekly when we meet, we can kind of fine-tune it based on how the kids are doing. So we're getting ready to plan our unit on equations for pre-algebra, Math 8. So we're going to start by just jumping right in. Okay, Amy, we have two major SOLs that we have to look at. We've got solving 2 to 4 step equations in one variable, and they have to do it using the concrete materials, you know, like counters or cups, some kind of pictorial representation, and then paper and pencil like we do. The other one that we have to weave in this is that they have to be able to identify the properties that they're using as they solve the equation. So really from the jump start, we'll kind of get that in.
Okay.
Okay, we've got about 19 days according to our pacing guide. Did you have a chance to look at the pre-assessments?
I did, and basically we have about probably 2 students in our group that know it and can probably do it on their own. The rest of them are pretty lost. So I think what we're going to need to do is definitely use the manipulatives to start with. Maybe start with the whole group with one lesson and then do the manipulatives, and then we might need to break into groups. And also we can reinforce in Core Plus. We can get with Terry, she can reinforce in Core Plus.
Okay.
So I would say the first lesson, maybe 1 teach, 1 assist.
All right, hold on, let me get that down.
Okay.
So we want to take one day of just maybe using the concrete materials. We'll do a 1 teach, 1 assist. I like that.
And Miss Ames can monitor as that's going on.
Yeah.
And for that day, we could do an exit ticket or a minute to win it or something like that.
Okay, so for our assessment, then just kind of some kind of informal assessment. Okay. And one day of that should be okay. I don't know that we'd have much more, but if we've got some kids that are still struggling with the concept of equations, then y'all can maybe do some more in Core Plus or something.
Yep.
Okay. All right, so one day on that. All right. So then the next, so you had mentioned something about doing the team thing like we did?
Yes, I think we should do the Team Batten, Team Krantz, because they love that. They love doing the competition, because since we have 20 boys. That
okay, so if we break them down into the 3 teams, we could have some kind of healthy competition, like maybe, not single them out, but maybe they get points for, you know, different things throughout the unit and some kind of prize
maybe
at the end.
earn their Paul bucks, since we're getting ready to have our auction.
Good idea, good idea. Okay. All right, so the first thing we have to do now, in 7th grade, they did 2-step equations. But what you said about the pre-assessment and what I looked at in my other bell, they don't remember any of it.
No.
So I think we're going to have to spend 2 days on reviewing 2-step.
Okay.
So let's put down that day 2 and 3, we'll review 2-step.
Okay. So maybe we can break into small groups
Right.
for that and parallel teach?
I think so.
Okay.
And maybe what we can do is the kids that are really struggling, we'll give them basic 2-step equations. But if we've got some kids that are like, you know, Whit and Brandon that might be ready to move on, we can give them some more complex equations, because one of the things that we notice is fractions, decimals are huge on, you know, on the assessments, and the kids are struggling with that. So we'll do our 3 groups. I'm just going to call them A, B, and C right now. And C will give fractions and decimals
Okay.
as they're ready, and then Group A can just do basics.
Yes.
Because I
Very
think,
simple.
yeah, if we can get them to understand the concepts, then they'll be okay when we move them on. Okay.
And in Core Plus, I can do the IXL, Math IXL,
yes.
and that will definitely reinforce.
Yeah.
And I can go back to fractions, decimals, or I can do the equations,
Very good.
depending on where they are.
Can we offer them like some kind of incentive if they'll do some at home? You know, maybe like paw bucks or
Definitely.
something like
yes.
that.
Yep.
Maybe just to get them to practice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're going to spend 2 days on that. Then the meat of it is they've got to be able to solve the equations using collecting like terms, distributed property, variables on both sides. So that gives us about 16 days left. The problem is Thanksgiving comes in here. So I don't think we're not gonna be able to test before then.
No.
That's for sure. So maybe if we could get the basics covered before Thanksgiving, then when we come back, we can work on word problems and applications
yeah.
and things like that. Who knows, maybe some of them will study over the break. What do you think? You laugh too hard. Okay, so then let's say maybe 3 days on collecting like terms. Okay. 2 days on distributive.
Yeah, they should know that though,
They
because
should.
we've done it. I mean, but we probably do need 2 days.
Yeah.
You're right.
You know, we can
Right.
revise this as we go. And then I'm really worried about the variables on both sides.
That's
But
gonna be hard for them.
so we'll plan, if we can get through this before Thanksgiving. And I don't know, we'll take it week by week, but
Okay.
I'm thinking maybe a nice, solid, formal assessment right before we go.
Yes.
Like a quiz, but not a test grade yet. Okay.
Yep.
All right, so let's see, that looks pretty good for Unit 5. Let me make sure we've covered everything. Okay. All right. So that's, let's see, we do 3, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, and that gives us a day or so to assess. We've got that half day in there, so maybe some kind of practice,
Yep.
or we just go over the quiz or something like that, just to kind of reinforce it.
Yeah.
Any ideas for the day one when we do the concrete thing? There's a website I like that has like a little balance beam, and you put something on this side and this side, and it stays balanced. And if you do something,
Yeah.
the only problem I have with that is that they need to be engaged. We can do the
Can we
cups and
give
the
them,
counters.
yeah, the cups and they can do it? Can we simulate them doing at the desk what is on the overhead?
Yeah.
Like, is there something they could have at their seat
Yeah,
that?
with the hands-on algebra has that little mat thing that we could use, and they could do it that way. And then they could write on it, with, like, if this is X and this is, or X plus 3 and this is 5, then they can practice doing that.
That's good.
Let's try that day to have them, after we have them actually manipulate it around, have them maybe draw a picture of it, where they, where they might take, like, I don't know, the cup, and then the counter like that equals, 5, and really model on paper what they're doing.
Right.
Because they should have had a good, solid background in this in 6th and 7th grade, but
Okay.
who knows if they did.
Yep.
Okay.
Sounds good.
All right, so then when we meet next week to start planning for the week, we'll need to, pin down the activity, and I'll pull out the manipulatives that we have. We have, it's a little balance scale, and it's got these little mats. It's cute. I've used it before, but, all right, so I'll pull that out. Will you get our groups going?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
you divide them
Get
into
the
3
groups.
groups. Okay. And also the IXL assignments, if you'll do that.
Yeah.
And I'll get this ready. Anything else we're going to need for next week's planning?
I don't think so.
Oh, you know what else? We want to do that flip book.
Oh, yeah.
Now,
Yes.
we've done it both ways. We've done it early and we've done it late. Any thoughts about whether we should do it early or later?
I say we do it a little bit later this time.
Okay.
And teach it first, and then that can be a reinforcement for them, so that then they'll have that.
Okay.
What do you think?
Yeah, well, if you give them to it too early, then they forget it. If you wait until you've taught it and then they can use the flip book, it makes a little bit more
And
sense, I
plus, it
think.
might be confusing to give it early when we
True.
haven't gone over
Right.
the distributed property yet,
Okay.
and they're,
So we'll put the flip book down in this week.
okay,
I'll get an exit ticket
okay.
for that first day. So I'll do the teach and you assist, because I'm familiar with
Okay.
that stuff. And then you can lead the exit ticket.
Okay,
And then day 2, we're going to review 2-step. Since I might be out that Friday, that face activity, that might be a good one.
okay.
Because that's a lot of practice, the kids like it, and, okay. All right, so you're going to get the groups, I'm going to get the exit ticket, and the lesson for the concrete materials. And we'll meet back next week to